Hello, SBI TV subscribers. My name is Greg Alexander, and I am the CEO of SBI, a sales and marketing consulting firm dedicated to helping you make your number. You are watching SBI TV from our beautiful location today. This is a monthly web TV show featuring guests just like you, executives trying to grow their revenues. By tuning in each month, you can peek behind the scenes and watch your peers discuss their strategies for making their numbers. On today's show, I am joined by Julie Lyda. Julie is the Executive Vice President of North American Commercial Sales at Blackbox. Blackbox is a provider of IT infrastructure solutions who employs approximately 4,000 people and does just under $1 billion in annual sales. Julie is responsible for the company's sales and marketing transformation project, which we're going to tell you about in a moment. She's been with the company for about 20 years, and she received her education from Penn State University. Julie, welcome to the show.
Hi, Greg. Nice to be here.
Have a seat. Today, I'm going to ask you to help your peers make their numbers by demonstrating how to design and implement a new organizational model for the team. To do this, we're going to use SBI's Revenue Growth Strategy Workbook titled How to Make Your Number in 2016. If you in the audience want a copy of this workbook, go to salesbenchmarkindex.com/2016 report. And if you want to have somebody from SBI teach you how to use it, sign up for our workshop at salesbenchmarkindex.com/2016 workshop. Okay, here we go. Our firm's point of view is there are 6 steps to designing and implementing a new sales organizational structure. We only have about 30 minutes today, so we're going to focus on just one of the steps. If you want the other 5 steps, keep tuning into SBI TV, for we'll have one of your peers demonstrate the rest of them for you in a future episode. But today we're going to focus on step 1, which is sales organizational design. We will leave channel optimization, talent selection, territory design, quota setting, and compensation planning for future shows. There are 7 B2B sales organizational models to choose from. They are Stratification, which explains big accounts, medium-sized accounts, small accounts. You have your hunter-farmer model, which is a sales team hunting for new accounts and a farming team farming existing accounts. We have a geographic model that says, I'm a sales rep in this zip code and I sell to everybody. We say industry vertical, so this is the next one. So let's say you sell to the insurance industry and I'm dedicated to that vertical. Number 5 is a product specialist. So maybe you're a company that has a big product line and it's impossible for all salespeople to be able to sell all products. So you specialize by product. Number 6 is buyer role. So maybe I sell to the CEO and my peer sells to the head of HR and another sales team sells to the CFO. And number 7 is the dreaded hybrid. And the hybrid usually underperforms the previous 6. However, many people choose it because they can't make the tough decisions between those 6. So they have a little bit of everything. Supporting that are 2 design principles that need to be considered. The first is a centralized functional sales team. So you have your VP of sales reports to the CEO. He has his leaders at the director, manager, and rep level, traditional centralized sales. Or an alternative to that is decentralized branch-based sales, which says, I have all these branches out there, and in each branch, I have a general manager who runs a distributed P&L, and he or she at the branch level has their own sales organization. That's a decentralized branch-based sales team. And one isn't better than the other. It just depends on what your business strategy is and what's right for you, okay? So we're going to dive into the questions right now, okay? So the first question for you would be, because I know you've just been through this, is we recommend starting with understanding which channels your customers want to engage you through.
Yep.
So tell the audience a little bit about how you figured that out.
So we did a lot of analysis on our customers, looking at historical sales, the type of customers they were. The exercise was called account segmentation. And not a surprise, but the majority of our customers are direct. We do have, I wouldn't say it's a channel, but we do partner with some large system integrators where we provide a part of the delivery or solution for large enterprise clients.
So you did research on your customers,
Yep.
asked them what their preference was, learned two things. Sometimes they want a direct relationship, and sometimes they hire systems integrators for big projects.
Big
and you're part of
deployments.
that.
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so the next question is, which organizational model did you choose? Which one served your customers best?
So Blackbox was, we did a lot of acquisitions over about a 15-year period. So we had a lot of what you described in the decentralized model of, branches with general managers, really, doing their own thing. So we were a kind of decentralized hybrid organization. And what we were finding is that we were having a difficult time really leveraging some of the acquisition strategy, talents that we had. We just, and we didn't have visibility, very good visibility into our business. So that really led us, after we understood our customers, to say, we needed to go to this centralized functional model.
So going from decentralized to centralized is, some would say, that's a very difficult thing to do.
It was transformational, Greg.
So that took courage to do that.
Yep.
So what gave you the courage to do that?
I think it was years of not being able to grow as an organization, and again, not leveraging the different capabilities we had as an organization. Reaching clients the way we wanted to reach them. What we saw was, within a client, we were providing one of our solution sets. So we had this huge potential to go wider and deeper into our client sets. Also, training our sales force was very difficult. Candidly, we also had a lot of role corruption, which prevented our sales team from selling time, right? So they were doing, customer service, they might be doing sales engineering and not selling. So it became, the need for a very bold move, to try something new. So I would say we were all in
Yeah, really.
to make the change.
Yeah. And you decided to go from decentralized to centralized, and then what did you land on? Did you go industry vertical, geography? What did you land on?
So we landed on stratification because what we learned through the account segmentation exercise is that we had some, very large, enterprise clients, and we had SMB clients. And the way we were serving them, was kind of the same thing all through some sort of geography with not a lot of focus. So when we did that exercise, we also understood that we had this huge potential with these large clients. So the thought was to put our best people on our best accounts and look at having a more economic approach in serving our SMB clients. We had a lot of them. Average order size was very small. It didn't make economic sense that we had, people running to do $1,000 orders. So it was a pretty easy decision to choose the stratification model.
Interesting. What I love about that answer is that through the account segmentation, you identified the white space in each one of your accounts, and you understood who your best talent was. Best talent, the best accounts, and presto, we get success, right?
Yep.
So that was brilliant.
Yep.
Okay. All right, we're going to take a short commercial break, but stick around. For when we come back, Julie is going to show you how to determine if you should have specialists or generalists selling for you. So come right back.
This is not a table. It is a stage where your performance is measured in numbers. If you reach them, you get an encore. If you don't, it could be curtains. That's why you need the well-rehearsed, proven sales and marketing strategies of SBI.
Welcome back. You're watching SBI TV. I am Greg Alexander, CEO of SBI, and that is Julie Lyda, Head of Sales and Marketing at Blackbox. And today, we are trying to help you make your 2016 number by demonstrating how to develop and execute a new sales organizational model. We're using SBI's 6-step revenue growth strategy workbook to guide our conversation, and today's focus is on step 1, which is sales organizational design. Before the break, we reviewed selecting your sales channels, picking the right organizational model, and choosing your functional or branch design principle. So now we're going to turn our attention to the other key questions that need to be answered as we sit here in this beautiful setting today, all right? So my next question for you is, when you make a decision like you did to go to stratification, it's more expensive because it has specialization. So how did you figure out if your customers are going to be willing to pay for this elevated sales cost?
Well, so again, talking about understanding our clients, I think, prior to this reorganization, it was all about what Black Box can do for our clients and not really understanding what our clients and our buyers want from us. So we spent a lot of time, interviewing our clients and, looking at our competitors, looking at the market, and, where our potential was in this, large enterprise client base where we've had some success, again, in this very decentralized model. We had some very complex solutions that we provided to those clients. So there was, evidence through all the things I just talked about that our clients were willing to pay for specialization. I would say that the sales team for that client base is, pretty educated not only on, different industries that they call on, but also our solution set. But we do have a team of sales engineers that they can call upon when necessary, when conversations get really technical. So on the the SMB side, I would say our business is more transactional, lower average order size, and I would say that is a little bit more competitive, and our clients aren't really willing to pay for a lot of specialization. So we have an inside sales team, which is totally new for Black Box.
And that's a form of specialization.
Yeah. So they're serving that client base, and they also have a different group of technical experts that they can call upon when needed.
All right, so let's talk about the org chart, okay? And I'm trying to help the audience get what positions are on the org chart. Your org is too big to outline the whole thing, but so in the stratification model, so at the very top of the pyramid, the biggest customers, who calls on them? What's their job title?
Okay, so that group is called our enterprise sales team.
Okay.
And that's headed by a vice president of enterprise sales, and he has a group of directors and account managers reporting to him.
Got it. And that team's job is to serve those customers in that enterprise segment.
Yep.
And how do you define enterprise?
So in our world, an enterprise client is anyone who has $2 billion or greater in revenue.
Okay, got it.
Annualized revenue.
All right, so that's the top of the pyramid. So in the middle of the pyramid, which isn't small customers but isn't huge customers, how do you go to market there?
We had this huge geographic footprint as a result of our acquisitions, right? And so, again, having such a wide range of clients and also being a public company and, we're changing, we didn't want to be, overly risky in this transformation. We left that geographic base there to call on what we're calling the mid-enterprise clients.
Okay.
So those are clients anywhere with revenue of $150 million up to the $2 billion mark.
Got it. All right, and then the bottom of the pyramid, you've talked about this, you have customers that are still important to you because they're large in number.
Large number, right.
But each individual customer just spends a little bit.
Yeah. So we took all of those, and we have an inside team servicing that group of clients.
Okay, and you did that because you had to match the selling costs to the value of the deal
the
sizes.
clients. Yep.
Okay, got it. Now, those are three very different jobs. So the responsibility of each is very different. Are they all trained the same? Do they have the same sales methodology? I mean, how do you handle that? So
prior to our reorganization, I would say that we didn't have a uniform sales process.
Okay.
Everybody did their own thing. So again, understanding our accounts, our clients, understanding our buyers, we came up with a 5-step sales process that's I would say it's uniform between the enterprise and the mid-enterprise.
Okay.
Inside sales, it's a little bit different because it's more of a transactional model. So we actually tested that sales process across the organization about 6 months into our project. Kind of validated the findings that we had, and we've actually rolled that out to the enterprise and mid-enterprise team.
Okay, so it's a really important distinction to tell the audience, because it's one thing to go to a new sales organizational model, which is what Julie and I are talking about today. And it's another thing, once you have the org chart down and you have roles on an org chart, you got to tell everybody what to do.
Right.
Right, and that's where the sales methodology comes in. Okay, fantastic. All right, we need to take another short break. When we return, Julie is going to teach us how to figure out how many feet in the street you need, how to handle the transition from the old way to the new way. This can be a little complicated, and when you make that transition, there's 2 things that absolutely cannot happen. Julie, what are those 2 things?
You cannot lose key clients, and you cannot lose top salespeople.
Very good. All right, stick around after the break.
Your finish line is your number, and the only way to reach it is to make certain everyone is pulling their weight and headed in the same direction. That's why SBI uses proven techniques to bring everyone on your team on board with successful, standardized sales programs, enabling victory at the turn of every quarter.
Welcome back. This is SBI TV. I am Greg Alexander, and this is my friend Julie Lyda, who heads sales and marketing for Blackbox. On this episode, we are helping you make your number by demonstrating how to develop and execute a new organizational model. We are using our 6-step revenue growth workbook to help us stay focused. And we have time today for one of the 6 steps. So we're speaking about the first step called sales organizational design. In the first 2 segments, we demonstrated selecting the right channels, picking the right org model, choosing between a functional versus a branch sales team, what job roles needed to be on the org chart, and how to determine the responsibilities of each role. Let's turn our attention to the remaining key questions. So Julie, now I'm going to ask you the question that everybody wants to know. The sales leader and the CFO are always arguing about headcount.
Oh, yes.
The sales leader wants 10,000 salespeople and the CFO wants 1. So how do you calculate how many salespeople you need?
So we used 2 different approaches. We did a tops-down analysis, which again, I really think, one of the key activities that we underwent during this transformation was this account segmentation, right? So understanding our clients, understanding the potential of those clients. So the tops down was really looking at how can we capture some of the market, right? Yep. How many salespeople do we need? How many calls do they have to make in order to get an order, right? And then we looked at it from a bottoms up, which was, looking at the activities of a typical salesperson. How much travel time do they have? How much selling time do they need? Are they doing other things around not selling that we needed to change? And in our organization, we had a lot of that. So it was, when we first looked at selling time of our current organization, it was less than 20%. So there was a lot of opportunity to improve that. So when we did those 2 analysis, it was interesting that the range of people, it was within, 10 people.
Wow. Top down, bottoms up, landed pretty close.
And then obviously we had a budget, right? Yep. So looking at what our current cost of sales was and what would it be in this new organization. So kind of financial, tops down, bottoms up, all 3 of those, were in the range. And so it really validated, the number of people that we needed. And of course, the CFO loves analysis, Greg, right? So, you can show them some analysis of how you come up with those numbers. And it's just not, here's how many I need.
Yeah. So it's great to hear that, because so many times we hear, well, I got to grow 30% next year, so I'm going to add 30% more heads. Not really. And however many heads you add, or maybe in some cases, how many heads you decrease, how are you going to deploy the remaining ones into what capacity? So, and understanding, for example, how many calls it takes to get an order.
Right.
And things like that are so easy, sometimes easily overlooked. All right, now you went from this, you guys bought 50 companies over 15 years.
Yes.
You had this decentralized organization, which is very typical for an organization that grew through acquisition, to a centralized functional group. How did you handle a transition from the old way to the new way?
So we did this project over about 1.5 years, right? So there was, we had some great guidance about, how to keep the team engaged and embracing the new organization. So, number 1 priority, as we talked about, don't lose key clients, do not lose key salespeople. So as we were doing these different work streams, we tried to keep the team involved in the different decision-making that we had, because it's really, it was all about how, we can best serve our clients and our buyers. So the team was, they're on the front line of that, right? So they had a lot of input into those decisions. So I think that was, that was key as we got closer to the new organization and implementing it. I think communication was huge, to everyone. We did monthly, WebEx calls and, visiting the different offices to make sure everybody was engaged. So, so far we're a quarter into it. So April 1st was the beginning of our fiscal year, and that's when we decided to implement the new organization. And so far, so good. We have not lost key clients. We have not lost salespeople. And our leading indicators are great. We've had our highest booking quarter in 9 quarters.
Wow.
Our pipeline is up. Our backlog is up. So it's just about taking those leading indicators and making them revenue and making a number, Greg.
Hey, you got to celebrate along the way.
Yes,
Leading
you do.
indicators are good.
Yeah, yes, you do.
All right, well, fantastic. So communication throughout the entire process, because it was a rather long journey.
It was.
And keeping everybody aware of not only what you're doing, but why you're doing it.
Yeah. And allowing them to have input too.
Yeah.
Now we did, candidly, we did lose some people, but I would say that those people were probably those that were like, uh-oh, you found me. Now we have a centralized tracking tool process. That's not for me. So, that was expected.
Yeah, so that's actually a good thing.
Yeah, it was a good thing.
Yeah, all right.
Yep.
All right, well, listen, we're out of time.
Okay.
So I want to thank you for helping our audience think through a new organizational model as they try to make their number in 2016. So thanks a bunch for being on
Thank
the
you,
show.
Greg. It's a pleasure being here.
All right, I would also like to thank you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you enjoyed this show, I suggest you subscribe to SBI TV, which you can find at salesbenchmarkindex.com/TV. Or if it's easier for you, just go to YouTube and look up the SBI channel. We have some outstanding guests confirmed for future episodes that you will not want to miss. Until then, I wish you the best of luck as you try to make your number.